before those attacks. But that's the last war. This is this war. Let's find out exactly who's going to come out on top between Titan Global and Silver members, the ex-Tomp9 roster. You rightly mentioned here, B. And yeah, like you also said, Nolex will be waiting for one of these teams to come up against them, whoever the winner is in this matchup. And you're going to see a mix of the Drags and the Dragon Riders already coming out. And this is going to be a very quick attack here, B.
It is. We already saw the Rocket Loons down to clear out the passage for this blimp to come in. Queen already in place to work along the outskirts, but the King has not been dropped yet. A slight delay on this as the Inferno Drags and Drag Riders actually protect the Queen, which allows the King more time to actually work down and take on some of the damage further through the base. But early pop here from that Warden helps keep the Loons safe and sound, and we do have one more Headhunter to actually come into the mix, take on, I would say, the defending RC, if we can pop in that Royal Champion in as well to help pick her off. So far, so good. It is looking speedy, fast, and looks like it has a lot left over to pack a nasty punch.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more aggressive plays today than we've seen any methodical or calculated. That's a dead cert as well. Already though, this is looking very clean in terms of execution here. The drag just staying into the center, which is huge to tank all that damage for these Dragon Riders and the Warden and the Queen to push on forward. But I need a couple of compartments. Definitely see that Multi-Inferno and a single in the next compartment. After, still going to have free spell in order to delay that DPS from the side of Silver members to try and push on forward. But the Inferno Dragons here looking to go into the center. Finally, they're a little bit diverted, but it seems to be okay. And looking at the HPs from these Dragons so far, it's going to be kind of a little bit close. But you can see, again, pushing towards that Tesla, so going towards that Multi-Inferno. But let's see if they'll be able to take it out here. Still a minute 10 left remaining. But even though they will be able to take this down, it will come down to time. But it looks like they should be fine long as this Inferno Tower gets taken down, which it has done. And it's looking very good in terms of start here for the side of Titan Global.
And this Inferno Drag doing a lot of work. Having that Queen ability was very critical to getting the rest of this taken down as well, ensuring the cleanup along the outskirts. But that Inferno Drag invaluable to helping pick off that multi-targeting Inferno and not having to worry about the Queen having to beat through the walls. So she would have had plenty of time because it was just about a minute left over. So, I mean, coming off that war, we're not used to seeing wars come that close. Not only to the fact that it came down to time, but to the fact that, you know, it came down to it being an exact tie. So, you know, a lot of players are going to look into this and say, okay, we got to be speedy. We not only need to be perfect and keep hitting those triples, but we need to be speedy as well. And this is one of those attack strategies that actually can quickly just power through the base.
Well, this is the issue with, well, it's not really an issue, really. It's just talent, really, in this region. The fact that their attacks are so well executed and so well researched as well, coming to a lot of these wars with such confidence, it's just very hard to comprehend how well they actually do going forward. You know, we've seen some great compositions. We've seen, you know, definitely a lot of different styles here. Normally we see a lot more methodical play, but a lot more aggressive this time around. We've seen a lot of the Inferno Dragons in the compositions this time around as well. Normally you see one setup every few wars. This time around I've seen about 4, I think now. Including the last war and this one here. So it's quite nice to see, you know, a little bit off meta in terms of compositions coming forward, but the Queen already taking out a lot of the structures on that eastern side. And let's see what he can do here in this first attack from Silver members.
And so taking his time, just opening up the path as the Queen works her way along. We're going to just force her through. We do have the opening towards the air defense, and I'm curious to see if he's going to force a Queen in here, or if he's going to drop the King in to try and push that Queen into the center of the base, and that looks indeed exactly what he is going to do. But that means we do want to try and take out the Eagle. He could bring in the Royal Champ to clip that off as well, but he is being very patient before dropping this King. I would say likely not wanting to risk any issues with losing the healers over, so I like it. I like that his patience is indeed paying off, but King dropped a little bit further south means, here we go, he comes back in. Okay, he dropped in a couple of hogs just in case.
And there's Ice Golems going out to play just to delay that Queen. Luckily for her, the Rage Spell was already in place, so getting additional value once again with the Eagle Artillery focusing on the King on that south side to continue to create that funnel, just take out all these structures here. Mainly, of course, the Scanner Shot and the Expo in bats towards the center side, but we'll put the ability just to make sure to get things done a little bit quicker. That Eagle is not really helping in any way, shape or form, but look at the composition. They've still got 4 Loons left, still got the 3 Dragon Riders. The Blimp is coming out, going towards the Town Hall, perfectly understandable here. And again, the Eagle Artillery is still focused on that King.
That, I'm going to tell you, that King got incredible value, that opening in the wall to get him into the scattershot compartment. Each time he was supposed to go somewhere, was a little bit worried, but he came back through, and this Drag Rider, one lone Drag Rider and a Loon to pick off that Eagle. Perfect value as soon as those defenses were cleared around. Great opportunity, and it works along with the main pack of Drag Riders coming in here. Queen has all but secured the core of this base, eliminating most of the path coming through, though that damage zone is the biggest worry. We do see some traps coming along, but the Warden ability keeps them safe and sound to take care of the remainder of this cleanup, though. They're pressed for health, limited down, and tons of Teslas and even this Archer Tower and air defense are going to be the biggest threat to knock them down. Warden and this one lone Drag Rider are the last remaining hope for this.
And this Dragon Rider hasn't really got any HP left. It will get cleaned up. It's just going to be the minions left standing. So just try and get the best percentage possible. And you kind of felt like as well, sadly, the RC didn't get to one of the ADs in time and did a fair amount of damage and didn't have enough HP in order to crack down on that next compartment, which we're witnessing now. So sadly, it got a little bit of value at the beginning, but not a huge amount in order to help those Dragon Runners push on forward. But that will be a 2-star, 89% from Silver members. And that's very uncharacteristic of them. We talk about, does of the ex-Tompanai roster, how talented their attacking squad is. So this will give their opponents a huge amount of leeway at the start of this war.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a mix-up from the team that we saw last season. We do have some changes in the roster, but we do have predominantly the majority of that team in there. Style, of course, is actually a streamer himself. He does do streaming over on Twitch. I know him from there, and he does a lot of great work. So it's a bit of a holdback, but we do get to see that high percentage for them coming through. They're just going to hope that TGG isn't going to be one of those teams today to come in with a perfect war. We have seen 3 perfect wars so far, of course, from ATN, and then that last matchup that we had with 2 double perfect war action.
Yeah, we had 3 out of 4, which is not too bad. I think it's going to be a little bit less than that now. I think the percentage-wise, in terms of perfect war, is going to cut down now, thanks to the side of Silver members. But we'll see. It's still very early days. We mentioned it before. It's very uncharacteristic of them, as we know how strong and talented they are in terms of their attacking squad. But I'm sure they'll let that slip. Assume that was a blip, and already now coming out for Titan Global. Will be better here. Already those Rocket Loons taken out, or trying to attempt to take out the AD, which it did not. And already once again coming out with the Dragon Riders. We're getting the Blimp coming out as well with the Warden behind it. Again, a very aggressive attack. Seeing the Inferno Dragons once again pushing in through this southern compartment, and already looking very good so far for Titan Global.
Yeah, this is a bit of a problem because we sent in those Rocket Loons to clear out some of the path, try and take down the AD. He does manage to get the Town Hall down despite not clearing out the opening there, but there has been a lot of resistance and a nasty pushback for this Tri-Bird. We've got the Tri combination, Dragons, Inferno Drags, Drag Riders all working together, trying to be pushed into this core and staying out of that Poison Bomb. But a lot of resistance coming in as they try and force their way through, taking on the single, and they still need to get as far past as the multi. The Royal Champ will alleviate some of the pressure along the outskirts, trying to work with the King and Queen, though, who are beating on walls. Rather than working their way up, going into that scattershot compartment, they are going to double cross over, which is a bit unfortunate. We see a lot of the steam lost in this one, and this could be a very big defense coming through for Silver members.
It really could be. You saw earlier on there, the defensive King did a huge amount of damage to the RC, which is not what he wanted, considering what he's done so far. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a blip here now for the side of Titan Global. The invisibility spell just trying to keep him alive a little bit longer whilst taking down that Inferno Tower, and the Queen now just trying to help towards that northern compartment. Can't break through as of yet, but it's all going to come down to percentage here. What is it going to be? It looks like it's going to be sticking to the 74%, which is not what they want, and now you've got a member as well. Silver members are going to be pretty pleased about that. They had a bit of a blip the first time round, but finally Titan Global will happen to them in their second attack. It will be 76%, which is huge compared to the 89% that Silver members had earlier on. So they're going to be pretty pleased about that.
Yeah, and that's actually going to be Style, like, all day long. He knows that his 2-star that came in was high enough to go against his defense that he also brought into the table. So, you know, Silver members are still in it. This is not going to be a perfect war coming through. Defense is holding strong. This matchup, which I think it's nice to see. It's nice to go back to seeing some of these bases holding, though, I will say. Like, the double perfect was super, super exciting. We just want to know these teams are also able to bring in the big guns when it comes to defense.
I'm not used to bases being able to hold their own or defend at this point after the last double perfect one, like he rightly mentioned. I'm still just like, oh my god, yeah, she defended. It's like it's a rare occurrence nowadays. You never see it happen normally after all that. But yeah, it's looking very good so far. Like we said it before, that a lot of his base layouts are probably a little bit more trickier compared to what we normally see, and of course it does depend on composition as well. But yeah, we'll have to see going forward here. Now we're gonna witness how React. We know what React is like, a very good attacker here on Silver Members. Did so great job back in the ESL Mobile Challenge last season for Tumpanine. We can see what he can bring to the table here in the second attack here for Silver Members. But a triple will do him nicely to keep this as close as possible in this war early on.
Yeah, so what we do see him coming in with is a Zapquake, not only eliminating the enemy queen, but takes down the multi on the back end there. This is all going to navigate to the pathing. We do see the queen coming in for the town hall. Ideally, what we also want to take out would be the core multi-targeting Inferno. That's going to eliminate the pressure from the air sweeper, but also eliminate pathing into the damage zone where all those traps lie. And that's where we're going to use the Royal Champ to sneak across, utilizing the fact that we have the king doing some tanking and the queen alleviating some of the pressure off of those defenses surrounding, though she doesn't manage to take down that ground bow. That's going to be the biggest push on this Royal Champion, but he does have an invisibility spell to try and keep her alive, particularly as she's going to come into tangles with the king. Curious to see, actually, maybe she won't. She side skirts to the opposite side, holding on to this ability as long as he possibly can, so he can get her in here, drops the invisibility spell, launch that Seeking Shield, and with that, the Royal Champion can take down the entire core. Now, we just need to worry about the Clan Castle troops, but we do have a poison to try and hold it off, and of course the Electro Owl that can help with this as well.
And as you can see, there be only one haste spell to push this attack as fast as possible into the center towards the Scanishers and those ADs. It better be a good one here in terms of positioning, because it's going to be so vital here to keep these loons alive. But in all fairness here, B, he's got so many loons alive. I don't think he even matters at this point. The Stone Slammer still alive, tanking all that damage. It wasn't taking too much. He let some of the loons skiddy on free, go a little bit more ahead, but finally he can continue to tank that damage. And yeah, this is looking very good so far. It's just could be a matter of time, but again, the minions have got a loon up there on the north side, just making sure to clean up some of those structures. But looking very good so far. Good position with that haste spell, just to speed things up a little bit more. And do you know what, B? We might not even see what's in that Stone Slammer at this rate. It's looking so good. But as I say that now, I think we probably will.
I don't know. The Warden Tower, oh, he does manage to get one shot off there and opens up those loons. A little bit sticky here with the Tornado Trap, but he I would say he should have enough power. We still have the storages to worry about on the 10 o'clock side of the base, but does send this loon in line, trying to work its way through. Loons come back around, but the king is holding off, and the traps that we talked about in the damage zone come back to play. This is coming down to the wire to try and get this 3-star in and see if they can clench this lead, but it is not going to be quite enough. That 98% 2-star, and I'm actually just seeing the Dark Elixir store, the Dark Elixir drill down at the bottom side of the base. Man, that is a tough go. So close to just taking that percent lead. And I just wanted to give a little bit of credit to React for the style points on the lightning spell drop for those headhunters that were out of the CC. So really nice use of the poison and the lightning spell combination to take down the Clan Castle. It's a little bit more of a risky move, leaving that Clan Castle for things like Lalos, but a really nice execution from it.
Oh, as if it was the defensive king of all things to stop him from getting that Clan Castle. Bloody typical,
Always
isn't it? It is typical, but never mind though, never mind. Let's be real, it's not the first time we've seen it happen anyway. We've seen it a few times in the past here, the ESL Mobile Challenge and the ESL Mobile Open. But it doesn't matter, it's fine. They've still got plenty of attacks to work with. So it looks like, sadly, for the side of Silver Members, they are trailing behind by 1 star, but they do have that percentile advantage, which they're going to be pretty pleased about if things get a bit too close for comfort. As now already making a start on that southern side, just taking out some of those structures there. And we'll have to see what happens now. The Queen does join them as well to create that funnel and also to make sure they push into that center side, which they have done beautifully here. And now we can see what Camille can do here with the rest of the attack.
Yeah, so we started off with a Zap Quake, just like we saw from React, even taking down the defending queen, opens up the passage. But look at this Royal Champ working her way along the outskirts. We do have the opening for the queen to take on the Town Hall. And if he can get this king to take the lead, the Royal Champ can do even more work jumping over those walls. I mean, ideally, you would want the king protecting the queen, doing some tanking, but drops the invisibility spell. Is it going to be enough to ensure that the Town Hall goes down, forces through the ability, and it is just enough to get that done. Now, with this, we do have the Royal Champ who's going to take on that Hound out of the CC, but he's got the pathing that he needs for the most part, bar this multi-targeting Inferno.
Typical. The queen was literally just on the outskirts of the poison from the Town Hall. Just absolutely typical. But it doesn't matter, though. That's not going to throw him off at all, as that Lava Hand will be tanking all the damage from the AD. The loons are coming up from the northern side. Have to deal with the Expo as well. It's going to be pretty tough here, but the Stone Slammer still pushing forward. But then again, the Sweep is actually pushing it back. So some of the loons may take a little bit of damage in the process, depending on the circumstances. But due to the movement speed of the Stone Slammer, it should be able to jump in front. You saw there as well, some of the air traps have been taken up already. The loons now still looking pretty good, but let's see what's left so far. Still got that scanner shot in the Inferno Tower more towards the center. Will get frozen just to delay the DPS enough in order for these loons to push on forward. Just the AD and that Wizard Tower to try and take out if they can, which they will. Look how many loons are left once again here for Titan Global. They're going to be extremely pleased about that. Still plenty of time as well to get the triple. He's pretty much laughing at this point here, B, and look at that, another triple here for the side of Titan Global.
It was 15 loons that he reserved to help surround the backside of the base, just navigating the pathing for these loons, keeping what he had to start with through that Warden ability and the outlying loons that were surgically added in from the outskirts, just absolutely dominating the remainder of this. I really don't know that he lost many of those loons through it. So beautiful, superb job here from TGG. And I know a lot of people are asking, who is TGG? Who is this team? They haven't seen them quite in ESL Mobile Open yet, and not quite yet on the World Championship stage, but they are a German team that are making waves in the variety of leagues that they are playing in right now. And of course, we do have Silver members who has some of the Tompanai team members that you'll notice as we go through the attacks in the mix.
Yeah, that's some good points you made, because as you know, with Titan Global, they weren't really around in the ESL Mobile Open. I'm not sure if they competed last season, but I can't remember from the top of my head. I'm not sure if they did or not, or competed in the ladder. But yeah, it's nice to see them at least compete here now to try and make things even more competitive. Like last season, it was really close for a lot of the teams. Some of the top teams didn't even make it into planes too. It was that close. It was, but we've also seen it again this season. The fact that Reporter Gaming, Tribe Gaming, Penta, and Team Elevate, I for some reason don't know why I'm forgetting about them, but but yeah, a lot of these teams like placing 13th to 16th, it's not something you normally see every day, and it's been really tough to this season to make it into planes, let alone try and make it to challenges. But we should see them not only compete in the next ladder, but maybe even to make it to planes as well, because of course 4 teams will be qualifying today. We've already had 3, just looking for one more here in the losers bracket, but already you can see one of the players from Silver members already doing work in that 4 o'clock compartment, looking very good so far.
Yeah, so we come in with a Blizzard and we create this open access to get to the Town Hall, taking down some of these surrounding defensive structures and clearing out the passage so we can set up for this Lalo. Just pulling the remainder of the troops, a smart move here with the Archer, just so that the Queen doesn't take on too much damage early on, or the Baby Dragon at very least, so we can take down this final super minion. But the Queen has all she needs without any healers, with just this Unicorn alone to pick up the Town Hall compartment. And worst comes to worst, he does have a freeze that he can use to hold things off, because she does have a lot of storages to go through to get to that passage. And we can see that first freeze dropped, already had to burn through the ability. One more freeze going to need to be invested to get this taken down, and she's just out of range of that X-Bow, so that is perfect timing and placement of those spells.
Very calm and calculated approach here. The RC will be coming out now to help for the King. As you see, the Eagle Artillery has been initiated, and now these loons will be coming out very shortly. And as you can see, so far has a couple of haste spells, has one more free spell to use as he sees fit, and if he gets into a little bit of trouble, as always. And the loons now will be coming out all from the west and north side, with the Lava Hounds now just tanking the AD in the process here, with the Warden coming out from behind as well. And now we're going to see how he's going to try and crush. And I love how the position as well to make sure to prioritize that Eagle Artillery, because that's going to be one of the main focuses here, pushing into that compartment. The Lava Hounds now will find some of these these air traps along the way, which is going to give a lot of breathing space for these loons. And look at this, the loons getting full value from that haste spell and looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, and the timing of this Warden ability is really beneficial, not only to the loons working their way through into that core, but also getting the headhunters to try and pick off that the defending heroes here. Royal Champ sneaks her way across, but not enough to actually get this scatter shot taken down. I think it was hanging on by a thread. That would have been one of the few remaining defenses to worry, though we do have the air defense here just on that back end, and a multi that also remains that is going to do in Diego for this one. Try as this Electro Owl might to finish the deal. There's not going to be enough juice, there's not going to be enough power, and certainly not enough time to get the job done here.
Who would have thought it? Hey guys, I don't know if you're watching in chat, but Silver members now behind by 2 stars, and they can't even, you know, rely on percentile anymore. 89%. This is not looking so good, and this is not what we expected from such a, you know, like I said before, a naturally talented team with raw talent across the board. It's not something you normally see. We know it's not the full ex-Tempenai roster, but some notable names in the mix, and it's just really a surprise to witness this, in all fairness.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, some unfortunate ghosts here. We saw that 98% 2-star, you know, that these plans are coming close, just not quite enough where they need to be. But this is what happens, you know, when you have these new up-and-coming teams that you don't get to see you know, played all the time on the circuits where they're not getting as much visibility. It gives them the opportunity to not only come in with maybe different strategies, but most importantly, to come in with different bases that, you know, other teams just are not ready to go against, that they don't know how they're going to have to play against them. So we do have Mark coming in for TGG now. They have the full opportunity in their advantage with a 2-star lead. Securing another 3-star here is perfect for them, but the 2-star is more than enough at this point, just about. But the Queen working her way through, taking on the Town Hall. Again, we get to see this move quite a bit, not needing the healers, just using the Queen, the Unicorn, in this case bringing an Ice Golem to help protect her against that long-range ground bow, and the King on the opposite side, not only forcing the position in, but alleviating some of this pressure.
I'm not gonna lie to you, B. I hope Silver members have some kind of anti-2-star base on one of their last 2 attacks, but even a couple triples here won't really help them out that much, but it depends on the percentile, of course, from the side. Sorry, from the side here of Titan Global. But we'll see so far. The Stone Slammer coming out from that 7th side. The Loons all coming out from the west as well. The Lava Hound just heading towards that AD, but we've got another one coming out from the west side as well, making sure to focus on that Eagle Artillery in that western compartment. But great positioning so far from the Stone Slammer. Is finding a couple of his air traps along the way. This is looking very good, but still a very slow approach here. Still only got a 1 invisibility spell. Haven't really got any haste spells or any rage spells to speed these up a little bit more, which means that you can see here now Mark is actually spreading these loons out a lot more than you normally would, which makes perfect sense to, of course, avoid that time fail later on if it gets a little bit too far.
I'm watching the slow-moving Stone Slammer go. That is taking forever and a day, not joining up with the mix. And it's a bit unfortunate because he had those 3 hounds sweeping across, trying to protect the majority of the base. But hold up, we've got that Stone Slammer that miraculously comes back in. It takes the lead, opens up exactly where he needs to, affording him the additional loons to come out, clear up the remainder of defenses along with this dragon. Only risk here now is this dragon getting targeted, targeting the Hound, the defending Hound, because we've got storages at the top side of the base. 45 seconds left to go. There should be enough time, I would say even if this Hound pops, but hold up the loons. Take a misstep, they go away from the Tesla, but it's okay because the dragon is going to clear the remainder of these defenses depending on how much health he has left over. Baby Dragon on the north side, it's coming down to the wire, but he's got the time to do it.
Yeah, he should do without any thought process. Oh, there
full
you go.
health.
There you got it, B. It's got a 4 HP. I know what you mean. I was like, okay, if it's got like 10% of his HP, then yeah, maybe a little bit of trouble in terms of that. But yeah, the Tesla's got absolutely no chance. He probably saw the HP himself and was like, yeah, I'm done. There's no way we're going to go about this. But a triple there, thanks to Mark there from Titan Global, will one step closer to solidify themselves into the next round of the losers bracket and taking down Silver Members. Who would have thought it, AB?
Yeah, you know, it was a tough match to call, though. If you were to ask me my prediction in this matchup, I might have inched towards Silver Members because obviously because of knowing that they have a Tompanite team. But I have seen TGG in action, and you know, I know that they are a formidable opponent, and they are definitely coming in, proving why Germany is some of the top competing teams within ESL Mobile Open for Europe, really any of the European tournaments that we do get to see them in.
Yeah, Germany have an incredible community, actually, in terms of Clash of Clans credit to scene. I even mentioned it, I think it was yesterday or earlier on today. Not only have we got like 3 or 4 teams here trying to compete in towards the plains for the spot in ESL Mobile Challenge, but, you know, even in the top 16, I think there was like 7 or 8 German teams overall. So it just shows how strong Germany are just as a whole in terms of the community. It's been real pleasure to see a lot of these teams come out, but funny enough, 4 of those teams I was talking about in the top 16 were, funny enough, Driver, Potter Gaming, Innovate, etc, etc. So I'm sure we'll see them in the next planes anyway, no doubt. But let's kick things off with Almu Alin here. As you know, he did a fantastic job in a lot of the attacks last season for Tompanite, but now he's really got to give it here in this attack. If he doesn't get a triple, this could be curtains here for Silver Members, but the curtains are already halfway drawn here for Silver Members after that triple from Titan Global and from Mark in that last attack. But the Queen doing a good job so far, taking out a lot of these structures with his P.E.K.K.A Smash coming in, and P.E.K.K.A will be coming out from that southern side already. But let's see what you can do here. But a triple is an absolute must here to even make it slightly close.
Oh, I'm watching that scatter shot. He does manage to get the freeze down because those healers took 2 shots already off of it. There's not going to be any chance for them to heal up, so it's a little bit tough for them coming through this base. However, he did manage to keep this under control. What I was originally going to say was that I'm surprised always if I see Almu Alin coming in with a ground attack, because he is an air attacker at heart, but really dominating through this one. We do get to see that Passage of the Queen already cleared out, giving the opportunity for the blimp to come in. Tornado Trap holds it off. Depending on what we have in here, he just needs to be mindful of the storage, but the Sneaky Goblins do manage to get out in a good position to try and take on the Town Hall. But wait, they're already taking damage. Is there going to be enough to get this taken down? Yes, there is. Just enough to get the job done.
Yeah, I was going to say, still got 1 rage spell left. I didn't know how, where, and when he was going to place it, but it had to be early to keep this alive. And you can see, he used it on the P.E.K.K.A early on in the center just to speed things up a little bit, because of course he doesn't want to, well, let's be honest here, B. Wants to avoid a time fail at all costs, because we mentioned already, Almu Alin wants to get this free start in to keep them in it. That's if they can, of course. But this is looking very good so far from what we've seen. Of course, we've got a couple of minions there just taking out the storage and the last of the mines here on the western side. But what is it so far? 25 seconds left. He's still got a P.E.K.K.A left. A couple of P.E.K.K.As left, actually. This was a really good attack. The Queen is still alive and got a huge amount of value earlier on. So he's going to be pretty pleased about that so far. Taking out that last Wizard Tower. And, of course, the Inferno Tower will be the last thing left standing. That will be cleaned up. A triple for Silver Members. It took 4 attacks, but they got that triple in the end. But is it too late? I think it's fair to say it is, as I'm hoping that they've got some kind of anti-2-star base or maybe a fail on the Town Hall. I don't know, but close to a miracle at this point here, B.
Yeah, 2-star lead still for TGG after this one. But, you know, like you said, don't ever underestimate what could come in defensively. We have seen 1-stars come through at ends of war, so it's a possibility. We could see what they're bringing to the mix. And we are, surprisingly, we are seeing more 1-stars in this current meta than I would expect to see.
You have to find out. It's going to be very tough to call, though, because I'm still in shock, like, not only from that last series, but the fact that we could see Silver Members knocked out this early. These guys, if you guys just join us in the ESL Mobile Open Plains, Silver Members were ex-Tompanite. They actually were in the grand finals against MCS last season, and the fact that they're going to get knocked out potentially in losers round 1 is just another major upset in itself. Even the champions MCS are in losers round 1. They play next as well, so you can't even make some of this stuff up. But let's go for the stats quickly, just have a look so far. So of course, Titan Global, they are up by 2 stars, which means that if they get a triple this time round, or at least 2 stars, that's it. That's pretty much done here for silver members. If they get 1 star, we'll come to percentile, but it has to, well, let's be real, it's got to be a very low 1 star, which I can't really imagine happening in a perfect world for silver members. But we'll see, we'll see. You know, you said it before where we see some strange things, some weird things, some dodgy things in the past, and don't be surprised if we see it again. But it depends on this last defense in terms of the base layout here for not Tom silver members, of course.
Well, I mean, they are tied up on percent, so,
true.
Yeah, so, I guess that would mean a 1-star 99% could do it for them if they were to get the triple. That's about the only way.
Weird.
They would have to leave that town hall for the very last thing. But I have actually seen tournaments that do 1-star 99%.
Oh, wow. I've never seen it, but you never know. We might do.
So Eyewitness we have coming in here, though, for TGG. A 2-star secures the deal for them, certainly. And coming in with a Queen Charge Drag Rider. I'd like to say this is old reliable, but that is not necessarily the case, as ATN has proven just about a day ago and in some matches recently, that it can be taken down to a 1-star, I would say. But gets that wall break in. We have the Axis open, which I'm going to assume for the King. Though actually could be to help navigate the Queen moving forward. We've got the opening for her. We're going to push her through, and that means we're going to sail the blimp for the Town Hall, and we're going to continue pushing that Queen through into the center of the base. We're going for some big, deep dive value in this core.
We certainly are, and it looks like the Queen's going to be okay for the time being, as she's got enough healing in order to tank a lot of his DPS, so not going to be too much trouble. But you see the King there creating that funnel for the Queen to push on forward. The rage spell does come down. The King's just creating absolute havoc in that western compartment. Crucial to take down that scanner shot as soon as possible to not take too much DPS there. But it's looking very good from what we've seen. The Queen's still there, just getting a lot of value out of it. And obviously the healers there just trying to make good work to make sure that she keeps it alive and well. But the Lava Hound there still just going to waste a huge amount of time here, but still plenty of time left on the clock. Town Hall is still up, so there's still that opening here for Amu Allen to be able to defend this off. But as I said, though, the Blimp has made an appearance.
Yeah, Blimp coming through. I'm a little bit worried about these healers. They were taking on a lot of damage from the multi. Slight delay on the freeze, but he did get it down, and the healers do survive for now. But Queen needs to continue through. We wanted to see the multi-targeting Inferno go down. Did force that ability to ensure that she has just enough power to get through and get that done. Now the Drag Riders with a lot of work ahead of them as they push their way through for the Scattershot. Royal Champion on the opposite side of the base, clearing out the path, but ideally we would like to see her taking on as much as he can as far as getting to that Eagle Artillery, but it's not going to be enough leg for her. Dragon Riders are going to still continue to try and get this done.
The RC inflicted so much damage already, but has he got enough to try and get this? There's still a fair amount down below in that southern compartment, but he's only got a few Dragon Riders. The Warden is also very weak, and you can see a couple of the air traps are still lurking around, and it looks like a lot of the stuff is just a bit too much here for Eyewitness. We'll have to see, but I think we have to make a very valid point here, B. They've already got the 2 stars, so it doesn't even matter what his percentile is anymore. It does mean Silver Members gets knocked out. Ex-Tompanai, who were literally the grand finalists 3 weeks ago, been knocked out of the ESL Mobile Open Plains 1. But don't get me wrong, they've got another opportunity for the second Plains in a month's time. But yeah, not something you normally see every day.
Yeah, definitely not. Though, will they be moving down a little bit further to face on one of our other 2 teams? Is that how it's going to work out here?
It sure is, yes. So basically, in this lower bracket, whoever's going to knocked out, that's it. They're done and dusted. But we'll be facing off against one of the other teams coming up shortly. Obviously, we've got to wait confirmation on that because we need to wait for the other loser bracket as well. But yeah, of course, once they've won that, I think even after this match, you still got to try and win 2 more matches in order to qualify, because we've only got 1 team to qualify into the losers. So not only if they take down ex-Tompanai or Silver Members, you still got MCS and Carnage on the other side of the bracket as well. So it's going to be a long night ahead of him here.
Yeah, it is. So, we've got TGG who is doing, I don't want to say the unexpected, but they are sailing through up over from what we saw when we were talking about the ladders earlier today, soaring up over Tribe Gaming, over Elevate, Penta. These are players that played in last season and now soaring over the mix-up of the Tomphani team. So that's 4 of our previous team. And I think even Repotted Gaming was right in there that they jumped over. So like 5 of those top teams that were in it got knocked out, and we get to see these newcomers into the scene. So kudos to them. But let's see how Silver Members finishes off this war, if they can come through with the final 3-star to finish off their day today. Peng in with the Hydra. I think I'm not sure, we haven't seen many Hydras. We've seen a lot of the Tribrids. We've seen a lot of the Inferno drag riders, but not too many Hydras coming through. What I do notice is he's got 2 clone spells to come through for the loons, likely out of the blimp, and I'm curious to see if it's going to be for the core or if it's going to be for the outskirts of the town hall, well, the inlying edge of it.
Interesting. It's not something you see every day. The Queen now just in the, or trying to break into the center, but as you can see from the northern side already, you have to do quite a lot in order to push on forward, but should be okay here. And we already mentioned already, but Peng, even though he's going to be the final attacker here for Silver Members have already been knocked out of competition. So this is literally for pride at this point, and then they can try again to make it into ESL Mobile Challenge in Plains number 2, which will be occurring next month, which means they've got a lot of wars to play in again in the leaderboard, in the rankings coming into the ESL Mobile Open. So a lot of work has got cut out for them here, but yeah, like I said before, it's already for pride. And now the Dragons and the Loons and those Dragon Riders, as well as the Blimp, coming on out here just to try to do the best it can to make their final attack of the tournament.
Ooh, gets that Blimp clip. There is the pushback from the sweeper. He needs to get this in as deep as possible, and he manages to get it right there over the town hall. Despite more pushback from the sweeper, that was a risky long line drive in, but it did pay off as he gets these cloned up loons, clearing out the majority of the defenses here. Even that drag rider, because of the positioning of the air sweeper, pushed it out of the poison spell. Oh, the poison bomb. Is it enough? Not enough to take down the air defense, which means, is he going to have enough power to get this done? Hanging on to an invisibility spell here. And yes, he did get that AD going down, and it is all a matter of cleanup now. This is a great way to finish off with style from Peng with the cloned dragon loons. Beautiful, superb job.
Yeah, nothing left in sight. He didn't even need to use that rocket loon to snipe any of the ADs. He did so much work. But yeah, like we mentioned before, they had a little bit of a decent run at the very beginning. Like, we know we had a bad first attack, for now to cream it back a little bit more, but it just shows the consistency here from Titan Global. But the winner of this matchup, which is Titan Global, will be playing against Nolex in the next round. And then they'll play against the winner of the opposite side of the bracket to determine who will come through and the loser's side into the ESL Mobile Challenge later on in the season. So there we have it. We've got a few